Hello everyone. Today I'm going to do a little commentary called Jamaican Restaurants in Dallas. Let's talk. Hope you're having a good day. My name is Anthony McCauley and I'm a member of Jamaicans of North Texas, almost since the beginning. Now I've posted a couple of videos before on this site. I did a review of One Love, the Bob Marley movie, a couple of months ago. And I think I might have shared a video I did called Honoring Our Ancestors, where I paid tribute to my parents who left Jamaica back in the early 1950s, going to London, the UK, who became known as the Windrush generation. So some of you might think I'm a bit opinionated, but this is social media and it is a platform. And as long as we're respectful, I can handle that. And it's okay to agree, to disagree. But my subject tonight is Jamaican restaurants in Dallas. Let's talk. A few weeks ago, I met a Jamaican brother in Fiesta who had not too long moved to Dallas from New York. We chit-chatted for a few minutes, and I referred him to the Jamaicans of North Texas Facebook page. I'm not sure if he ever visited, but welcome and big ups to him if he did. Now, one of the things we spoke about in our conversation was the situation regarding Jamaican restaurants in Dallas. And I just said to him, to be honest with you, I've lived here for about 20 years, and if I want something Jamaican, I either cook it myself or I ask a family member to prepare it. I do not go to the Jamaican restaurants because I'm tired of being disappointed. He looked at me and he said the same thing. He said, as a newcomer to the city and anxious to connect with the Jamaican community in Dallas, he'd been to quite a few, some of them pretty new. And he was disappointed and he gave up, basically just like me. So just for a few moments, let's have a little talk about that. What's going on with the Jamaican restaurant scene in Dallas? I actually broke my word about going to Jamaican restaurants about a month ago. A new Jamaican establishment opened up in my area. There were already 2 or 3 others, but I gave up on them some time ago. This new place from the outside had great curb appeal, and once inside, the artwork and the ambiance was very tastefully done. They had some great murals of Bob Marley. I thought to myself, this looks great, and I went ahead and I placed my order. I made allowances for the fact that being fairly new, some of the items on the menu they had either run out of or were not currently available. So I ordered a curry chicken plate, and my family members ordered oxtail and jerk chicken plates, all of which came with rice and peas and cabbage. Now, this was a Sunday on a holiday weekend. Lots of people do stop at a restaurant after church and give themselves a treat. All I can say is that great expectations quickly turned to sore disappointment. I paid my bill, which for the 3 of us was about $80, and promptly left. The service was good. The young lady who attended us was very pleasant and polite. The ambiance was very nice. I'll give credit where it's due. But the food, it was just not up to par. So I asked myself the same question maybe some of you have asked. What is it with these Jamaican restaurants in Dallas? Are they cooking for Jamaicans? Are they cooking for people who know how the food should be cooked and how it should taste? Or are they cooking for a broader spectrum of people, some of whom might have tasted something vaguely Caribbean on a cruise? Or are they cooking for people who have actually been to Jamaica and have eaten the food there, probably at a hotel or a more tourist type location, which, clearly would be better than some of what's served in Dallas? Do the proprietors of these Jamaican restaurants feel that in order to appeal to a broader section of the community, and possibly to break even, that they have to hold off on the ingredients, cut back on the spices, and sometimes maybe even cut back on the portions? I don't know. I'm just asking these questions aloud. There are now 4 Jamaican restaurants within a 15-minute drive from where I live. And I can honestly say, in the very best way that I know how to express myself, me nah go back, okay? We all know that cooking at home is not the same as cooking in bulk and cooking commercially. But there are some basic essentials that apply to all cooking, whether done at home or in a restaurant. And I refuse to accept that Jamaican food cannot be cooked to high standards, even to the point where it will taste like it was cooked at home. I used to live in London, and I went back a couple of years ago, and there were several Jamaican restaurants and bakeries turning out really good, really tasty, really fresh, and really good quality Jamaican food. I used to live in Laurelton, Queens, in New York, and moved here about 20 years ago. That whole area of New York, Laurelton, Rosedale, Springfield Gardens, and Cambria Heights, they're all adjoining, has a very large Jamaican and Caribbean presence. And even back then on Merrick Boulevard, a few blocks away from where I lived, there were several Jamaican restaurants and bakeries that turned out really good, really tasty, and really authentic Jamaican food. And I'm talking about 20 years ago, and I know it's gotten even better since then. At that time, we had Nakasaki. That was a famous place around there in Rosedale, just a couple of miles away from Laurelton, where I lived. Nakasaki was run by a Jamaican Chinese family, and they cooked both Jamaican and Chinese dishes to perfection. It was a beautiful and well-run establishment, and business was so good that they moved out to Hempstead in Long Island and opened up a big restaurant and nightclub. And whether you went there and ordered for one person or ordered for 100 people, the quality, the service, it was impeccable. It was a place that, even though we cooked Jamaican food at home, every once in a while, we would look forward to going there because we knew the food would be good. So don't tell me that Jamaican food can't be done on a superior, if not excellent, level. I know how to cook Jamaican food. I know how to cook it properly, and I know how it should taste when I eat out. There are a couple of very important things to mention about Jamaican food. Firstly, Jamaican food is not fast food. Some things need to be seasoned a day or more in advance. And if you don't have a full day, at least a few hours in advance. Jamaican food, it's not fast food. You have to watch your flame and watch your pot. You don't have to use a lot of browning in your food. Too much browning will make the food taste bitter, and it will make the meat get tough. My mother would use a little browning from time to time, but sometimes she would burn a little sugar and take her time and brown down that chicken until it was perfect. Sometimes when you're preparing certain types of things, you don't put all your seasoning in at one time. You take your time. You let your food brown and cook in its own juice. Then you put in the first set of seasoning. Add a little water, not too much. You don't want to drown that food. And let that food cook down until it's nearly done. Then you put in that last set of seasoning. And you taste your food. Because if you've added a little water, some of that seasoning is going to need to be adjusted in order to get it just right. Cooking Jamaican food takes time. There might be shortcuts, but if you're cooking in a restaurant, you need to invest in your people and hire those who have a love and a passion for the food and a knowledge of the food. I know you must be saying, well, what do I know about cooking Jamaican food? Like I told you, I was born in England, but I was taught by some of the best. And we did not eat Jamaican food, English food at home. From we were toddlers, my mom and my aunts never adopted to the English way of cooking food. All we ate was Jamaican food. And we had the whole scope. As infants, we were raised on crushed pumpkin and chocho. We didn't only have formula. And forget about cereal. We didn't have breakfast cereal because too much of it was too full of sugar. It was cornmeal porridge, green banana porridge, or whole wheat porridge, or fried dumpling and ackee and saltfish, or fried dumpling and liver, or callaloo, or something like that. And forget about the cooked food. The only things we didn't get, because my parents made sure we knew all of it, were the things that just weren't available in the UK at that time, although they are now. So although we were born in the UK, we were taught to prepare those Jamaican dishes the traditional way, and we learned how to cook them before they had tinned coconut milk and all these prepared and liquid seasonings that they have today. I'm not going to say that they don't have their uses, but those things you just add to your food. They're not the basis of the whole dish. Jamaican food is one of those things that it just takes time to cook, whether you're just cooking for one person or for 100 people. It is not fast food. It takes time. You have to have a passion for cooking it, and you have to invest the time and energy into its preparation if you want to see repeat business coming back through that door. A restaurant establishes its business and its reputation primarily on the strength of its food. If the food ain't good, people won't come, and by word of mouth. Yes, good service, a nice decor, and an exciting menu, all of that is all well and good. But when the food is finally served, if it is not warm and it's not up to par, then all the decor, service, and ambience is just a waste of time. At this point, I can honestly say that I'm pretty disappointed with the state of Jamaican food, the food scene here in Dallas. And I've just resolved that if I want to eat something spicy and exotic, I'll get my curry from the Indian restaurant not too far away. It will be different than Jamaican curry, but at least you know what to expect and you know that in advance. I can handle it, and at least you will get enough. Other than that, I'll get Chinese, and if I want Jamaican, I'll cook it myself. So I guess you can say it's just my experience and my opinion, and that is the truth. But if that's the case, please educate me. Where in Dallas can I get some real good Jamaican food? Some real good fresh baked patties, and not the crap that they sell in Sam's Club, 12 to a box. There's a Jamaican restaurant right near here, and one Saturday we were coming home and decided to stop and get a patty and ginger beer. The woman said to me, "Oh no, you have to wait 2 hours for that. That's a special order." Special order me backfoot. She was selling the same frozen patties that you buy in Sam's. It doesn't take 2 hours to warm up a patty. So tell me, where do they serve real good Jamaican food, like your mom, maybe your wife, or your grandmother used to make? And I'll be more than willing to give them a try. I want to be pleasantly surprised and excited, and I look forward to eating some real good Jamaican food that I don't have to prepare myself. So call it a review, call it a commentary. if you want to call it that. But to be real honest with you, my brothers and sisters, this brings me no kind of pleasure. Tell me, where's all the good Jamaican food at? What good?